So we made it to the NRA Show in Houston, Texas, and it looks like Demolition Ranch has already been here. He beat me here, so obviously Matt's already been here.
Cortina, that's actually John Wick's car from the movie.
Oh, really?
Yes, sir. Stunt car number 3. Nice to meet you, by the way.
Nice to meet you. All right, so that John Wick's car, right?
John Wick's car. They had 5 Mustangs for the movie. They have a show car, a camera car, and they had 3 of the stunt cars. And this is stunt car number 3. Only one in private hands. The movie company's got 2, and a museum in France has 2.
Yeah, that's cool, man. That's cool. Tell me your name.
My name's Rick Rush.
Rick, nice to meet you, Rick.
Nice to meet you, sir.
So it's the last day, and I just got here, so it's about noon. I better move, and I better move fast. All right, who do we have here? They're buying gold over here. They're making gold. Who do we have here? Knives, scopes, more gold. What do we have here? Pistols, furniture, eating area. Night Force guy. So I guess Night Force is that way. Brass picker upper thingy. All right. What else? Night vision stuff. All right. What do we have here? Night vision.
Thermals. Night vision right down there.
What are you?
Me?
Yeah. Come on, man. Come on. What do you sell?
Oh, we sell thermal and night vision. We're TMBC,
There you go.
goggles.
There you go.
Yes, sir.
I just got here, and I got to do the whole show in like 2 hours. So.
All right.
I know. All right, what do we have over here? Pistols. Who else? Who else? Night Force is over here. Let's go chat with Night Force. See if we run into somebody we know. I know that guy right there. That guy right there. I know that guy. Who else do we know here? Here's the Night Force booth.
Yeah, he's training.
How you doing, man? So, how's it going?
Good.
Good?
Yeah. We're here.
All right.
Sunday?
Sunday. I just got here, so I got like, how many hours?
You got
4
till
hours?
5. Yeah. You got 6 hours
to
yeah.
cover the entire thing. So,
Okay.
good to see you.
Yep, good seeing you. Have fun.
All right,
Good luck.
take care. Bye-bye. Scopes. Good stuff.
Okay.
Get you some. All right, what do we have? What do we have over here? I would run, but I die. So, anyway, I'm gonna keep walking, and when I see something interesting, I'll show you. How was that? We got Lapua coming up right here. Hey, sir, can you tell me right quick about Lapua products?
Hey, how's it going?
How you doing,
Writing
man?
down all my ideas, my great ideas.
There you go. I
Yeah.
saw that. I saw it going into the idea file.
Yeah, we're sitting here talking about the different booths and what they have, and you know, there's some pretty cool displays out there that show Ballistic's gel and all that kind of stuff and how it performs. I'd love to show a comparison between the Burger and the Naturalis and really see, you know, how those things perform on game to show how our product is completely different than anything else out there on the market.
There you go.
Because, you know, that's one of the questions that we get a lot. You know, why would I shoot a Burger bullet? It doesn't have a ballistic tip.
Yeah.
Why would I shoot this Naturalis? It looks like it's like a monolith.
Right.
You know, they have their specific uses, and it's really something that I spend a lot of time explaining to people that visually.
If you spend a lot of time explaining it, it's worth doing a display.
Yep, exactly.
There you go.
Now,
all right, man.
How you doing today?
Pretty good. You here by your lonesome or what?
I've got Daniel.
Daniel, do I know you? Erik Cortina.
Yeah.
See?
Nice to meet you.
How are you? I've met you before.
All right. All right, man. Well, good deal. Good to see you.
And then, have you met Bob Blaine? He's here as well. He has walked away for a minute.
The name sounds familiar.
One of our tech guys. So if you've ever called in asking for reloading data,
Then
and
yes,
like that,
I ask about reloading data all the time. That's where I get all my reloading data. Thank you.
Thank you.
Concentricity gauge, I assume.
By the way, left-handed concentricity gauge.
Left-handed concentricity
We showed
gauge.
in the catalog right-handed, but it's convertible, so we set it up left-handed here today.
I see. Cool. So they got the T7,
Yep.
the single stage, the
Boss 2, Little Boss, and then Ultra Mag, the big one.
nice powder throw, case trimmer,
Yep.
different heads for your T7, redding dies. Now,
Gotcha.
small base die.
Yep.
Is it purposely sized to only size the base, or
No.
does it also size the body?
Sizes the body.
It sizes everything.
Small base dies are really designed for cartridges, for chambers that are made at specs smaller than SAAMI minimum. A
So out of
standard
spec.
redding die
Uh-huh.
will size anything to fit an absolute, in every respect, SAAMI minimum chamber.
Okay.
Okay? So small base dies are used, I say. A lot of guys use them on 5.56s and 308s because they might have been machine gun brass. And when we have machine gun brass, we have heat and pressure that starts to blow out the web. Well, because we have a shell holder in the way, we can't get all the way down there with a regular die. So the small base die, because it sizes it so small, kind of pulls that in. It doesn't actually go down in size because we're sizing the area above so much that it kind of sucks that in enough to be able to use those cases.
Cool.
It's very popular with a lot of AR shooters because they'll run it as the last stage on the press. After everything else is done, they'll run it through like a small base body die to do that last to guarantee feed and function. But generally, if you use our standard dies and the cases aren't all blown out, you'll be just fine.
So your dies are made to function even with minimum SAAMI spec chambers.
They are designed to provide with a good proper shell holder and full cam over on a good single stage press. You're going to be able to run it in a dead SAAMI min chamber in every respect.
Cool. Can you explain SAAMI, please?
SAAMI is the Sporting Arms and Ammunition Manufacturers Institute. In 1926, the federal government, because of a lot of problems that have been going on, wanted to establish some sort of bureau of regulation on firearms manufacture, their specs, etc. The industry responded by creating SAAMI in 1926 to be the standards organization of the firearms industry. SAAMI specs are the only standards produced by a different organization that are accepted in as a ANSI spec. If you know what ANSI is, American National Standards Institute. They set the standards for everything. SAAMI spec are accepted by ANSI, and ANSI doesn't have a different set of specs on firearms. So what we do is this is where we get the approval on what pressures are, what cartridges look like, what a barrel twist rate is. So SAAMI goes back to 1926, so a way for the industry to totally standardize so that a 32 S&W long case fits in the Colt, fits in the Smith, fits in whatever else. It's the American answer to something in Europe called CIP. And that's the proof houses. That goes back to the proof houses.
Right.
And while SAAMI doesn't operate proof houses, each SAAMI member company has their own proof barrel test area that are done to SAAMI specs. SAAMI also specifies the design of a proof barrel, specifies the design of the copper crusher used to measure pressure. All of that comes under the umbrella of SAAMI.
So SAAMI specifies the minimum and the maximum for every chamber.
Right. So you've seen SAAMI prints that show you have a cartridge spec and a chamber spec
So
with mins and maxes on each.
So when you say your die will size even anything that is made to SAAMI minimum,
Right.
that is the reason that some cases are sized more than others. It's not the die, it's the chamber. However, they are still in spec, correct?
Right. Because as a responsible manufacturer of dies, we base everything around a SAAMI minimum. Because we don't want to resize a cartridge case that won't fit in something at the small end of the spectrum. Now, as an addendum to that, we make our competition shell holders, and I don't know if you're familiar with those or not. So, since SAAMI spec for datum line headspace is minimum plus 10 thousandths, we create a set of shell holders that allow the user with a full cam over to create a custom head-spaced cartridge to better fit your rifle. If you happen to have a rifle that's a plus 10, SAAMI Max, and a lot of them are, because here's the deal. Firearms manufacturers don't buy reamers at minimum because when you sharpen them, they get smaller. They buy them at max. So you get a lot of 10s out there. Then they sharpen them back and it might be a 7 or an 8. And they sharpen it back and it might be a 5 or a 6. And by that time, it's had so much stress on it, it probably isn't going to live through another sharpening.
Right.
So in reality, a dead minimum chamber, unless you have a gunsmith that you pay a lot of money to with special reamers and all the rest, you're not going to really see one in the real world.
Right.
When we get into gas guns are always built way up on the top end because they need to feed, function, and run. So, competition shell holders, they're a little bit confusing because guys think, well, does it make it shorter? No, it leaves it longer. Because when you take a standard full-length sizing die and a standard shell holder, which has a key seat cut to the top of 125 thousandths of an inch, that's industry standard for a shell holder, okay? That in concert with a properly designed die for a 23 to a 30 degree shoulder, like most of the ones we shoot in our 223s, 556s, 308s, 7.62x51s, that is designed to, with a full camera, push the shoulder back to 8 thousandths under SAAMI minimum chamber. That's not under SAAMI minimum cartridge, but it's like down at the ragged bottom edge. Okay, and why do we do that? Because it's going to spring back 5.5 or 6 thousandths. And to be a safe fit in a minimum chamber, we got to be at least like a -1.5 or 2. So, that's great, except I've got a +10, and I don't want my case to expand 11.5 thousandths on that first shot, do I? So with these shell holders, what we do is, externally they're identical. You never have to move the die. But the key seat cut, that which the cartridge case sits on, is machined deeper into the shell holder, which means the shell holder interferes with the bottom of the die sooner, which means the case can't go in as far. And how far in it goes is how far back the shoulder gets pushed. So what we do with a +10 is, instead of pushing that shoulder back to -8, the +10 pushes it back to +2. And then it expands to 6,000, because remember, obturation works both ways. You know, we obturate out and then it springs back. Well, guess what? When we obturate in, it springs back out. So when we have our 6,000 spring back, you're going to wind up with a +8 in a +10 chamber. What's that? 2 thousandths off the shoulder. Perfect. Now, the other piece that a lot of people forget about is we have a body taper. So when we don't push it in as far, i.e., don't push the shoulder back as far, we also aren't pushing that body taper down as much. So we're really minimizing the amount of work necessary on the brass to fit your rifle, not to fit the minimum chamber that we never really get to see. So, how do you use them? Really easy. The best way to sit these up is to neck size, back the die off, and neck size 3 or 4 times. Take 1 or 2 or 5 shells, do this. Fire them the 5 times. So we have what's called a fully obturated case. That's going to give us what the chamber really is, okay? Mm-hmm. And this is incredibly difficult, high-tech stuff to do. Lube the case, put in the +10, full cam over, pull the handle, and see if it goes back in the gun. It didn't, okay? Pull out the +10 and put in the +8. Lube the case again. Pull the handle, almost, just not quite. Pull it out and put in the +6. Pull the handle and it fits. So that means that we've created the cartridge case that's between a +6 and a +8. So we're, again, 1.5 thousandths or so off the shoulder, giving you a perfect headspace.
Question for you.
Yep.
You talk about how the case keeps expanding. You need, 3, 4 firings depending on pressures, right?
Yep.
Is there a possibility that case can no longer go into the chamber that it came out of?
Yes, after you pull it out, sometimes it won't go back in. Because again, that obturation, remember, the chamber expands as well as the brass does under pressure. The chamber obturates. So then the chamber comes back down, the brass is still trying to push out, true. And that's when we need to, that's when we need to resize, but we don't want to push it all the way back to minimum. We want to push it back just far enough to be usable again.
Perfect. Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
Great explanation.
What we were talking about a little bit was the ideas of where are the fundamentals and the basics on long-range shooting? What are we trying to do? And it really comes down to 3 words, and I've been associated with these 3 words throughout the industry for a long time. And it's identify, quantify, mitigate. What does that mean? We identify a variable. We quantify that variable. Find a way to control and understand what that variable is. And if we can measure it, then we can fix it, either by a change mechanically to something we do in our reloading or through segregation. Okay? Simple as this. I'm going to weigh my bullets. Well, guess what? I identify a variable, which is bullet weight. I weigh them. I now have quantified them, and I segregate them based on their weights, because a bullet that's a grain or two heavier is not going to do what the bullet that's a grain or two lighter is going to do. We do the same thing with something like using a reading instant indicator to measure base to land bearing point on the bullet, because it's going to be different. Our bullet jumps are going to be different. Our start pressures are going to be different. So in everything, both internal and external ballistics, the magic is identify, quantify, mitigate. We use a wind gauge. We identify wind as a problem. We know the direction of the wind is a problem. We know the speed of the wind. So we identify that, we quantify it with a wind gauge, and through that, using some calculations, like a ballistic computer, we can mitigate. And mitigate doesn't mean we remove it entirely, but we make it as small a difference as possible.
You have been great. Thank you for all the info.
Great to have time to talk to you. Good luck to all your guys. Enjoy it, learn everything you can, shoot long range.
Keep them centered.
Thanks, man.
I can't even stop talking. You should put you on the camera. Erik Cortina, he's the man.
All right, tell me what you were telling me. So you're with Velocity.
We're with Velocity. Let me start over.
No, that's it. It's live, dude. It's live. Oh, you think being a YouTuber is easy?
Let's do this, right? This is how we learn. Velocity Precision Engineering. We're out of Phoenix, Arizona.
Look at me. Don't look at the camera. That's why I put it right here. You're going to be so natural.
Single stage drop-in trigger. This is going to replace your mil-spec AR components, your fire control group. We're going to replace it with a 3-pound single stage, set at the factory, non-adjustable. So there's no dials to mess with, nothing to come out of alignment. You're not going to use any Loctite on this product. You're going to install it with our installation screws. Lock screws go right behind that, I apologize. And you're ready to rock and roll. DLC coating on our trigger, NP3 coating on our hammer and our disconnector. We use a heavier than mil-spec spring, so you get 11% more inertia on that actual strike on the firing pin.
Okay.
This is designed for the AR platform in the 15 or in the AR-10, everything from 22 all the way up to Beowulf.
Okay.
Available at www.velocityprecision.com.
Look at this guy. He's a natural. All right. What were you saying about PRS?
Just getting into it. I picked up my Ruger Precision secondhand used.
Okay.
Started watching all your videos. So I'm slowly doing my load workup. And I heard what you said about don't chase the land. So I'm working on it. I don't even have dies yet. So.
Hey, I just talked to the rating guys. They're just right over there.
That's
good
right.
stuff.
You did suggest that because I saw your video when you were talking about how you load them like that.
Rating's good, man.
I am going to go down there and check with them because I do need to get a set of dies for my 6.5.
Yeah.
And then I checked with Hodgkin. They got a 4350 on the website right now. So.
Hurry up.
Right on. Hey, thank you, brother.
Nice to meet you, man.
Thank you, man. I appreciate what you do.
All right, thank you. Keep on keeping on.
You got it.
I wonder if we can put a tuner brake on this thing.
Exactly. It's not like it's like a competition.
I don't know what's going on over here, but... We got Dillon over here. Let's see what they got. All right, so 1100. That looks pretty sexy.
Appreciate it.
So, as you guys know, I reload with a progressive. It's an auto drive. But I kind of been looking at the 1050. I don't know if it'll give me something that the 750 doesn't. But I'm gonna ask. Looks like Dillon has an auto drive-ish type stuff. What do you guys call that?
It's our DA3000. We just released it.
DA3000.
With the RL1100, it can load about 1,800 rounds per hour.
1,800 an hour.
9mm pistol. It's faster than the rifle.
What about rifle rounds?
It'll do rifle. It can do up to 308.
Okay. Pretty cool.
This one is the CP2000. This is for processing grass.
Okay.
Pardon me. The RL1100 over there would be for loading.
Okay.
And like I said, you can do, depending on the machine, up to 2,000, but that's kind of pushing it. Okay.
What's the price tag on this thing?
About $5,500 complete with the auto drive, the machine, and the Mr. Bullet feeder.
Everything. $5,500.
Yes.
Alrighty.
You can start making ammo.
You guys have tried it on rifle rounds?
Oh yeah, I loaded a bunch of 308.
What's the base to shoulder consistency? Do you know?
For the head spacing,
Yeah.
it's usually dead on. It might vary a half a thou to a thou.
Okay.
It depends on the brass you're doing. If you have a consistent batch of brass,
Right.
it's going to be the way the machine moves. It's going to do it the same every time.
Okay.
So if you get mixed head stamp, it's going to make the machine flex and move a little bit differently. So you will introduce a variable,
Right.
and thus perhaps an inconsistency.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Oh, you're very welcome. Thanks for stopping by.
So, Lab Radar. We found these guys. So, tell me what's going on with Lab Radar.
We just released the Lab Radar Lite. It's the same as a standard Lab Radar. It's just lacks the Bluetooth connectivity, so it doesn't connect to the mobile app. but
Okay.
everything else, as far as performance, accuracy, still remains the same.
Okay.
So you'll start seeing them pop up in stores a lot more frequently this summer.
What's the price tag on these versus those?
The original Lab Radar increased to $600, and the Lite is at $559.95.
$559.
Save
So-
yourself a little bit of money.
So, $41 for Bluetooth.
Yep.
Well, that's cheap. That's cheap if you want Bluetooth. It's only $41.
Yeah, right now the Lab Radar, it's a little bit harder to find. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah, they'll be out of stock for a little while. At
Triggers.
least we
Do
still
you
have-
guys sell triggers? Do you guys recommend triggers? What's the deal with the triggers?
The recoil triggers, they do serve its purpose, so they can work great, and depending on how you have them mounted. As long as you have them mounted properly, they do seem to work. But
Okay.
they can affect your accuracy if it's not mounted properly. So
Okay.
yeah.
Okay. Cool. Alrighty. I appreciate it.
All right,
Thank you,
for
sir.
stopping by.
You guys got a minute?
Sure.
So we just talked to Lab Radar. You guys are the original. Talk to me. What's going on with you guys?
Well, so we still make the original
35?
gold standard in chronographs, the 35P. Ship them every day. Our new system does something that nothing else does. That's the System 89.
Okay.
It's a long-range time of flight or ballistic coefficient chronograph.
Okay.
So it has two wireless controllers that talk to each other. We've tested this out to 2 miles,
Wow.
hitting a 4-foot plate.
Okay.
At 2 miles, the bullet is in the air. The time of flight is about 7.5 seconds.
Wow.
So at the gun end, we have our proven SkyScreen 3s.
Okay.
We ship it with a 4-foot rail. We recommend you go and get a piece of conduit and make a 8 or 9 foot spacing
Okay.
to give you a more accurate velocity.
Okay.
Then the other part that we need is the time of flight. So down at the target end, we have 4 acoustic microphones,
Okay.
and we've been making acoustic targets for 40 years. These can be configured in 3 different ways. You can put these in a square and shoot through the middle. That will of course give you time of flight, but it will also give you your hit locations and an indication of your group size. Now, it's not a targeting system, it's a time of flight system. We have more accurate targeting systems, but this does give you an indication of your target.
Okay.
So the sky screens give you the start time, the acoustic target
Gives
the
you the
other-
arrival time.
gives you your stop time or your total time.
Okay.
Now, with that, you provide the distance. So there are
Okay.
3 things that we need to know, let's say within 0.1% accuracy, in order to have a VC accurate to 1%.
Okay.
The velocity at the muzzle, the time of flight, we do both of those for you,
All right.
and the distance to the target. You do that.
Okay.
Now, we not only provide you with the ballistic coefficient, but you shoot a 10-shot group, you've now got the variation in your BC. Just like you have variation in velocity from shot to shot. Try to minimize that. You have a variation in BC. Not every bullet experiences the same total drag over the flight time. And some bullets in your barrel, you will probably find, are more consistent shot to shot on the drag. Now, if you're shooting 600 yards, that variation in BC probably is not significant. You're still going to get on the target. But if you're going out 1,000 yards and beyond, that variation in BC, as we've seen when we go to sight-in days for some of the ELR competitions, that variation in BC can be more significant in keeping you off the target than the variation in velocity. This is the only system that can measure that time of flight, calculate the BC for you, until you get into the very expensive Doppler radars that can track a 30 caliber bullet, say, out to 1,500 meters. Those are hundreds of thousands of dollars and probably require a team of people to run them. System 89 is easy to deploy. One guy can easily set it up as easy as a regular velocity-only chronograph.
Okay.
And it can give you a wealth of data. You can also run it out into subsonic, say for 22 rimfire. If you're playing the 22 rimfire ELR game, which is, I don't know what it is, 500, 600 yards, that has the same challenges as metallic rifle going out to 1,000 yards and beyond in terms of wind drift, bullet drop, things like that. You take the acoustic microphone and clamp it to a piece of plywood or a plate, and since you don't have the Mach cone shockwave to trigger the acoustic mic, it hears the impact on the plate, gives you the arrival time or the time of flight.
Perfect.
So
I
it
appreciate
can work
that.
for anything. Relatively short range, supersonic of the target, you do the square or the flyover. Subsonic of the target, you do an impact plane.
Are you guys still based out of Texas, Austin area?
Yes, sir.
All right. Thank you. I appreciate that. One thing I forgot to ask.
Sure.
What's the price? I mean, it's got to be, I don't know. I'll let you tell me.
Okay. Well, so this is in our hand loader line of chronographs like the 35P.
Right.
So we priced this so that your typical long-range competitor could afford it, less than they typically spend on a rifle scope. So it's currently priced at $29.85, just under $3,000. That's the complete system. The only thing you need to provide is a laptop running Windows to run the 3 software packages that come with it.
Okay.
And some straight pieces of PVC, depending on how big you want to make your acoustic target.
Okay.
That's
Perfect.
everything else is provided.
Perfect. BC Chrono.
Yes, sir.
Thank
System
you.
89.
System 89. Thank you. Now we got Leopold over here. This is strange. It appears they have a cool new feature on their scopes. Looks like they're putting a door handle on them now. Anyway, Leopold is here. Good stuff. All right, we got Swarovski in the house. Brandon, we got a runaway salesman. How you doing, man?
Doing all right. What's up, Erik?
How's it going?
Oh, just living the dream.
All right, what do you guys have? Tell me. I shoot your 525s.
You got the DLR 525, came out last year, kind of upgraded from...
What's the difference?
Compared to the regular 525, what this has is a 10 mil turret per revolution, so it's a little bit wider clicks. It's a little bit more tactile when you make that feel. It comes with the parallax spinner and the throw lever, and it's got a little bit better field of view compared to the regular 5-25. On the 3-18 line, we expanded the reticles, and now you can get the Skimmer 4 in the 3-18, not just the 5-25 now.
Okay.
So that's kind of the cool thing it's doing with Collis at the moment. So.
What about on the Swarovski side?
On the Swarovski side, we'll have some things in the future, but this year in particular,
Can't tell us now.
It's a little slower on the new product this year. Look out in a couple months. We will have a thermal clip-on coming out. It's been announced, but they just haven't made it to the States yet.
Awesome. So, tell me about Collis and Swarovski. A lot of people don't realize.
Yeah, Swarovski has owned Collis since the 70s, and it's something that they work side by side as kind of sister companies to a degree. A lot of the same engineers from Swarovski talk to the same engineers from Collis, and they work together. So all that amazing clarity that you know from the Swarovski side, you get that in the Collis, and then from the precision, kind of tactical side and precision shooting side on the Collis, you kind of get that. It works into the irregular tubes of some of the Swarovski. So it's kind of a blended engineering.
Awesome. Good stuff. Thank you, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Tony?
Good to see you, Eric.
Thank you. I know you don't want to be on camera, but I snuck you in there. See you guys. Here we have the Mark 7 auto drive, which is now owned by Lyman. You guys know I have this setup myself, and I use it all the time. It works well. There's quite a few others that I saw today that, believe you me, I'd like to get my hands on. Now I know Gavin is doing a progressive shootout, so I got a lot of presses that I've been looking at, but mainly Dillon sticks out as the winner so far, but Mark 7 has their own presses. So I'm going to talk to them and see kind of what they have. This one looks pretty slick. I'll talk to them and see what the difference is between theirs and the Dillon's.
Sensor package is only like $1,100 or $1,200. Let's look at the future right here where they don't even buy ammo anymore. You just buy like parts.
So this is the Apex. They kind of showed me my way around it, and pretty cool. I'm gonna look into it. We may be upgrading the Dillon 750. We got the RCBS guys. Oh my God! Lori, PRS shooter, right?
Yeah. Been shooting for 3 or 4 years now.
Big fan of yours.
I'm sure. Big fan of yours. You taught me a lot of stuff about reloading, man.
All right. What's your name again?
Justin.
Justin. All right. So people ask me all the time, because I do automation in my channel for my ammo nowadays, but I did single stage for a very long time. What press should be everybody's first press, in your opinion?
The rock chucker.
The rock chucker. This one right here.
It's been a staple in our assortment for years. Just everyone has one. Everyone uses it. It's just bulletproof.
Everyone knows the name. It's the number one in consistency. That's what I learned on. I've only been reloading for about 2.5 years now. You know, I'm actually over in the Hoppe's brand, but my sister brand next door is RCBS. And I started learning about 2 years ago when the Gay Tiger came out, shooting PRS with a 6 Creedmoor, switched over to the Gay Tiger with George and Brian, the guys down at GA Precision, and they said absolutely start on a rock chucker. So that's what they taught me, that's what I've learned on. I actually size on the rock chucker, but now I've kind of gone over to the Summit press for bullet seating. So I've got two presses set up on my bench.
All right.
Yeah, the Summit has a big 2-inch ram on it, just precision reloading. It's set up for kind of more of your bullet seating, but it can do everything from resizing to priming, everything. But
this is the one you're talking about?
But
what is this one called?
It's our Summit press.
Summit. Okay.
But just great overall, just really set up for a bullet seating, for precision bullet seating. Everything's perfectly aligned, so great press.
Yeah. You guys also make dies? You have a competition dies?
Yep, we have our Matchmaster dies. We have a full assortment of dies overall. Just got with the Matchmaster a couple of years ago. They got a bullet seating window on there, which is pretty amazing. So everyone's kind of getting used to that. Overall, it's just been excellent. But
did you guys, you have your auto tricklers?
Yeah, we have 3 different auto tricklers now.
You have the light, the 1500, I assume?
We have the Link, which replaced the light.
Okay.
We have the Supreme, which replaced the Chargemaster 1500.
I am so old-fashioned now.
And then we have the Matchmaster.
Okay.
So you have the Link is accurate within 1/10 of a grain.
Okay.
And then you step up to the Supreme, it's accurate within 1/10 of a grain, but we have a powder learn function on there. So basically when you get it, you pour your powder in, you press the learn button, hold it down, it's going to count 3, 2, 1. It'll dispense out 3 different loads. It's going to learn the best way with that type of powder to dispense it as fast as possible.
Okay.
And then we have our top of the line, which is our Matchmaster.
Uh-huh.
It's accurate within 0.04 of a grain on match mode. It's got a dual tube technology, so it has your regular tube, a trickle tube, just kind of got all your bells and whistles. You can go in, you can program it to the type of powder. You can speed it up or slow it down depending on what you're using. And really, instead of 45, 50 seconds on your old pieces, Now you can get them down in that 12, 15, 20 seconds to drop a load and just
all in
Good
one
stuff.
single unit.
There you go.
Not
That's
piecing anything together. It's all in one unit.
awesome stuff. Thank you. So again, you want to get started? Rock chucker. That's it. Keep it simple. And it's left-handed and right-handed.
Ambidextrous.
So if you're amphibious,
Amphibious?
that's
Yes.
it. Yeah. Anyway, thank you. And good to see you guys. Actually, I was signing off. I realized she had a Hoppe's shirt on. So, Lori, what did you tell us about Hoppe's? You did a great job with RCBS over there.
Well, I was talking RCBS, like I said, because I've just been learning precision rifle in the last 2 or 3 years.
Okay.
Hoppe's is actually my brand. RCBS isn't, but because we sit next to each other and we're owned by the same company, it all works out. So we created this family specifically for high performance rifles, high velocity, high round count, things like that, the AR. But it works on any firearm whatsoever. It's great because it goes all the way down to negative 65 degrees, all the way up to 545 degrees. So that high, low, high, low, high, low, it's not gonna burn off. It's not going to evaporate. Specifically for that high heat retention, it's got an alcohol carrier in it. So when you first apply it, you're gonna say, oh my God, that's so thin, it's water. It's specifically supposed to do that. And then the alcohol will evaporate, leaving the perfect fingerprint of lube behind.
Okay. So this is gonna be perfect for lubing your bolts. Like
it's great on a BCG.
Well, I'm talking about like bolt action. They always
Bolt
ask me
action,
what can like lube like the actual firing pin, like the lube, the spring and all that.
We recommend a thinner oil style for that, and then also on the back of your bolt, GA Precision has tested this before with me. They actually help us develop it a little bit. I don't want to throw, George's name on it or anything, but they were able to test that for us, and we've tested it on bolt guns. I've ran the shit out of it on some bolt guns, and it's performed.
Wow. So this is the bolt lube, and that is the rest of the lube.
Yep. This is the oil. This is the oil. This is the grease.
This is the grease.
Yes.
Got it. They're both lubes, obviously.
Yep.
So this is what is it called?
Hoppe's Black.
Hoppe's Black. I gotta try it. I will try it, and I will let you know how it does.
Fantastic.
How about that? Thank you.
You're welcome.
You did good. Bye bye.
Bye bye.
So Cadex is here. There's all kinds of good stuff. Forster. You guys have heard me talk about them. Here it is. How come you guys don't make more of these? Seems like you can't find them anywhere.
Well, they're in stock now.
Really?
At Midway, Brownells.
All right.
Ladder Shields. So.
Here it is. You guys have these cool. What do you guys call these things?
That's our new AccuRing.
AccuRing.
Yep. Helps you dial in the depth of your sizing die and your shoulder bump.
Right. So, what else do you guys have? Dies?
Yeah, we do dies, case prep tools. Our other new thing would be our neck tension gauge set.
Okay.
So it's basically like a stepped pin gauge in thousandths increments, so you can really dial in and look at what your neck tensions are.
Okay. Are these ground? I assume.
Yep.
Nice. So you guys have seen me, not you guys, but my guys.
Yeah.
You guys have seen me use pin gauges to check neck tension. Now these guys have a.
That's exactly what it is.
A tool
set of pin gauges.
Yeah, but now these are all stacked.
Yep.
Are these caliber specific? How does it work?
Yeah. So it's if we look at this one that's 308. It's ground in thousandths increments, so it's 304, 305, 6. So wherever that slides up and stops.
Okay, so it's one of these per caliber.
Right.
So you have, okay, I see what's going on here.
Yeah. Yep.
So you have 22 6mm.
Yep.
I assume
224, 243, 264, 284, and 308 are what's in our kit.
The 270 gets no love.
Yeah, we're gonna do those. We're gonna fill in those gaps, but that's what we have in the kit at the moment.
Yeah, that's all right. Cool, man. This is nice. Like I said, I'm a competition shooter myself, and we use pin gauges all the time.
Yeah.
So now the fact that you guys are putting it all in one simple tool.
Try to make it a little. We were seeing a lot of people try to measure with backs of calipers and things, and Trying to take what we do in the shop and make it a little more convenient that way.
Perfect.
So.
That works.
Yeah.
All right. So you heard it. They have the presses in stock. So I used to use them. I still have it. It's a great press. But people used to always say that they could never find them.
Yeah, that's certainly been a thing. You know, the castings are all made in the U.S. and all manufactured in the U.S. and supply chain issues and capacity things, but we really worked with our suppliers, got a lot of things coming in, so, you know, where we were doing, I think we'll end up almost being double this year what we've put out than in the years past. So.
Wow, nice. So you guys offer a case trimmer?
Yeah.
Dies, press, what else? Loading block?
Yeah, we don't do the loading block, but hand primer, we've got.
Hand primer. This is pretty cool. I like this. This is pretty cool. What do you guys call this? Neck tension gauge?
NTG.
NTG. Look at these guys.
Something a lot of people.
I gotta put an acronym on everything.
Something a lot of people probably don't see is kind of the inner workings of a seating die. So this is like our cutaway of a seating die. So you can see how that case is supported.
Right.
Then that bullet hits a bullet channel 1/2 thousandths over the bullet diameter, just to be sure everything's held in good alignment that way.
Right.
And then our sizing die, kind of a unique thing with our full length, is we put the expander ball up in the shoulder sizing area. So rather than being down by the decapping pin, your case neck starts coming out of the neck sizing area and hits that expander, so it's all supported in the die while being removed. So.
Okay, perfect. Makes perfect sense. Alrighty, all good stuff. I like those pin gauges. Where are they in stock?
I'm not sure. We've certainly sent some to our distributors, but they've went pretty fast, and we should have. If they aren't in stock, it won't be long.
I'll just take these with me. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Bye bye.
Yep.
Well, there you have it. I saw some pretty cool stuff. Got to meet up with some pretty cool people, and now we're gone. Out the door we go. We'll see you at the next one. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Tonight I'm feeling me, gonna make an ugly scene. Tonight I'm